Welcome back to my channel. Now, I want to let everybody know that I am in the process, and me and my family are in the process of finding a new place to live for a myriad of different reasons. But number one, we want to live in a place where we could grow our own fruit, where we could have fruit trees in the back and live in a climate that supports that, but also live in a place that's more in alignment with our values. We just feel like America's not the place for us. It's just, it doesn't align with who we are consciously. The direction it's going really is not the direction that we're going. So we're on the search for some different places. We visited the Virgin Islands earlier in the year. St. Croix was a beautiful place, has a lot of things that are in alignment. We're about to visit the Dominican Republic, and we're really excited about that. But we want to grow our own food. We want to be in a place where humanity comes first, where people are genuinely nice. You know what I'm saying? Where the talk isn't constantly about negativity or constantly about division and politics or, gossip or cancel culture or what else? The NFL. Where it's so single and simple minded here in America now, and so distracted from what truly matters that we just don't feel connected to this part of the earth anymore. You know what I'm saying? So we're on the search, and obviously, you take trade-offs. I'm sure there's some things wherever we decide to move that we might not be able to have here in America. But at the same time, you gain so much more. And I think part of the reason that more people don't do it is because we've just been conditioned so heavily to be entitled as Americans, to think that this is the greatest nation in the world and there's nothing like it and all this shit. But when you start to travel abroad and you meet people who have actually made the move or do live in these other places, you start to realize that that's just propaganda that's been sold to us since we were a kid. And honestly, we're just tired of it. I want my daughter to grow up, my youngest daughter to grow up in a world where that entitlement doesn't exist, where she can appreciate the world she lives in. She can appreciate the things that truly matter and not be constantly conditioned and constantly just befuddled with the division and propaganda and political pushing and programming that goes on in this country. I talk so much about diet and how important that is, and it is imperative. And I'll touch on that on the moving part as well. But there's a mental and spiritual aspect to growth and being able to live like you want to live that, is very hard to maintain in a place where everything around you is in contrast with it. It's constantly pushing you in the other direction. So you're constantly fighting against that every single day of your life. We don't want to do that anymore. We want to go to a place where, we can be ourselves. We can be around people that really appreciate humanity and life in itself. And that's not to say that there's not some of that stuff in other places, but the amount that you receive here in America is just overwhelming, to be honest. And not to mention the rat race, cost of living, the things you have to do for the amount of time in your life just to maintain here in America is just absolutely ridiculous. And there's no reason for it. There's no reason to have to work for 60 years of your life, just to maintain a typical normal life here in America. When you can live for so much cheaper in other places, because it's not all about money. It's not all about the greed. It's not all about the come up and the corporations and, just, I don't know, the way that America's set up, the rat race, the world where every day you wake up, it's just a different form of stress. We want to get away from all that. We want to go to a place where the terrain is more in alignment with who we are physically. like we are tropical people. We were born in we were meant to be in the tropical world. The sun is acidic, and the foods we're supposed to eat are alkaline, right? It's a perfect balance, right? And that got messed up through migration and things of that nature. But that's a whole nother conversation. But like, we want to live in a place where the real fruit and the good foods for our body is readily available, or that we can grow ourselves, and not have to live this manufactured life that's created here in America. So that is the plan. You'll see some videos coming soon, based on our trips and our journey. So that's going to be a new aspect of this channel, trying to find the place that will be our home for 𝐟𝐨𝐫𝐿 and his family, so we can live in alignment, so we can be in a place that aligns with our values of appreciating life, of being able to grow our own food, and being able to have in abundance the type of food that is for the betterment of ourselves, and also to be around and in an atmosphere and in a consciousness that is in alignment with who we ultimately want to be. All right, so just some thoughts. I'd love to hear what you guys think out there. If anybody has made the move, where do you live? I'd love to hear about it. Any expats out there, people that have made the move from America to another place of in this world, I'd love to hear about that as well, because we are on the journey, and I just want to share that with each one of you. All right, so here we go. Project Tranquility in effect. Peace and love, everybody.